Boom. Um, when you want somebody fit, right? That's just human nature. And I don't know. We talked about this with your man H, H, how
HG.
H, right? HG, yeah. Um, you don't want no guy with an eye here and an eye right here because genetically you don't want to pass that on. So when you first see somebody, you gauge their health historically throughout human civilization. You gauge a person's health by their appearance. So being pretty, being attractive, being symmetrical is an indication of health. Now it might not be 100% reliable, but it has been an indicator of health. So of course you want somebody that's attractive. I'm not even gonna say pretty. That's attractive. Of course you want somebody that's fit because that's health. Why am I gonna try to have a baby with somebody who's 400 pounds, knowing that she's gonna have hypertension? That baby ain't gonna make it, or she's gonna be pre-diabetic, and it's gonna put all this stress on the baby. Like that's a health issue. Like that's human biology right there. The same, and for that exact same reason is why women have historically preferred taller men because it's a perception that this person will be able to protect you. And there was a time when we was fighting hand in hand and with swords or clubs that size mattered.
Or maybe
I
she
don't
don't
really.
want short kids.
What's wrong with short kids?
Maybe she
What is?
just don't want them.
All right. What is the wrong? What's the problem with short kids? Because you have a daughter, she's probably gonna be shorter anyway. So if you
Listen,
5'5" and he's 6'3", your daughter ain't gonna be 6'3" more than likely.
true, but like you said, there's a perception that he can protect or that he's an alpha or he's the man. So
Okay.
maybe they want kids that are going to be tall because they're going to be perceived as superior in some way when it comes to
Okay.
athletics or just in society. So I mean, women are looking at men the same way a man is looking at a woman. Is she healthy
Yeah.
enough? Is she? It's the same thing.
But the difference is we're talking about health. The reality is in modern
Y'all
society.
don't give a
Hold
damn
on. Hold
about
on.
no
Hold
health.
on.
Y'all
Yo,
just
no,
want
no.
to be able
Listen,
to show
Mo.
her off. You don't care
Yo,
about her health. You want to be
Mo.
able
Who?
to
How you?
say,
Why you
this
saying
is
yo?
my dime piece.
Why you lumping me into the category with like yo? You.
Because
One,
you
you assigning
defending
that to
this
all
shit.
males. No, you assigning that to all males, and you know that's not true. Because I know a lot of good brothers who not like that. You need to stop. You know better, right? Two, me looking at you and gauging your health is one thing. You looking at me assuming I'll be able to protect you more. We live in our society. I don't have to be 6 feet because I got something that I got this, and I can legally use it. So he could be 6 feet, 250 pounds, all he want. The moment I feel threatened by him, and I can legally, and he communicates a threat, I don't have to resort to hand on hand combat. Now, if we have to resort to hand on hand combat, he got me, unless I'm stabbing him. But he's still gonna be able to get through that. But generally speaking, you don't you don't have to. In the majority of the world, look at South and Central America. Half them dudes in Central America ain't that tall. Dudes is like under 5'9". So this some Western society is actually incredibly. I don't even want to say it's entirely Eurocentric, but to some degree, it's a Eurocentric quality. Cause you ain't gonna find a bunch of Asian dudes that's 6 foot plus. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna find a bunch of dudes in South America that's 6 foot plus.
That's
Most
true. But if
most
you notice, most of the Asian men that are on TV are all tall. It's like they find that one or two tall Asian guy and put him in everything.
what
And they
what
inflate, the value of height in males. That's society. That's mainstream media. That's, and people gravitate towards that shit.
yeah, but okay, so that goes back to what I was saying about psychology and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But once again, the reality is, yo, you're fine. The reality is, yo, that height thing is not the same as height matter when you need a height and stature to be a better protector, a better provider. You go get all the dudes that went to your high school basketball team, right? Matter of fact, go get only 10% of people. I think it's 20% of households, 10% of individuals in this country make 6 figures, right? Well, I'm I'm short, and I'm in that 10%. So, and I raised my kids, and and I defended my kids. Like while I was there, nothing happened to my kids. But when I was on the job and while I was present, now if they rebelled or they went and did something stupid, they had to deal with the consequences of it. But while I was there, they was protected and provided for. But that don't stop me from being provided. I chose to be here with these kids. I chose to be there, and let me phrase this right. Even through the tumult and the challenges that might have existed in a relationship, I still chose to make it work to be present with my kids. And I wasn't perfect. Let me be clear on that. But I chose to be. So what does my height have to do with it? How many of these tall dudes is deadbeats? How many of these taller dudes is not being there to provide for their kids? How many of these taller dudes don't even make six figures? So statistically, a lot. So what is this whole height thing doing? If you're looking for a provider and protector, well, they not there and they not provided. So what is the purpose of following doing that? But we see the health for those of us who essentially decide to stay or want to create a life with somebody. Your health is gonna matter, and even if it don't, it's still subconscious. It's still genetic influence, right? Like you wouldn't date Bushwick Bill because you wouldn't want to pass on them bad genes. There's no disrespect to little people. I'm just saying,
What
like
if you're
genetically.
done? What if you're done having children and you just want to enjoy life?
What's that mean?
Say you're not worried about procreating.
You mean just having sex?
Does it matter then whether she's fit and
Yeah,
feminine?
yeah. Um. See, I didn't say feminine, but yeah, of course, I'm on a
Or
feminine
okay,
woman.
fit and
You know what I'm saying?
healthy.
Um. That's an interesting question because
Because if we're
health,
basing it on,
health,
oh, you're going to be carrying on my kid, you got to be
health is
healthy enough to hold the kid, give birth to the
yeah.
kid, and be around enough to raise the child. Um, Once that's already done, how important is it then?
Well, health is still ideal, right? So if am I
Yes.
spending my life with you? Health, I'm spending my life with this individual, right? Or am I just? I'm spending my life with you. You unhealthy? That's hospital bills. That's emotional turmoil, right? And I'm only going to diabetes, right? Uh, Over the last 30 years, the number of people you notice, you're a medic, the number of people who had diabetes has more than doubled in the last 30 years. The number of obesity rate in America has more than doubled in the last 30 years, which increases is a diabetic epidemic. There's a diabetes epidemic in the United States, right? And it's going to increase, right? So 40% of the population is overweight. That's cardiac disease. That's diabetes. That's cholesterol. I'm trying to live. I reach a certain level of success, right? Most people don't become millionaires to their 50s, 40s, right? I reach a certain level of success, and now I'm about to invest all the time I'm supposed to have the most freedom and the most latitude to do what I want to do. I'm supposed to be putting that money into your hospital bills and the time that we should be spending traveling. I got to sit around and not enjoy this because you was being unhealthy. So health is still a factor if you being calculated about it, right? Like you said, alphas are calculated, right? So what
Yeah.
alpha male generally, right? There's always exceptions to the rules, right? Because people are compassionate, people can really establish bonds with other people. But what alpha male is going to sit out here and pursue an obese person to share what they've worked their whole life with? As a matter of fact, I would sit back and say, yo, if I've sat here and invested this much to make myself this good, why haven't you made yourself better? Why haven't you been doing something to make yourself better? Right? Why did you? Because you don't become obese on a whim. That's a process.
Yeah, it takes time to get there.
Yeah,
What if the
male or
person
female.
is obese but they carry it well?
All right. So there's some people who are obese because of the BMI thing, but they're very muscular. So by the scale, they're obese, but they're not really obese. They're just muscular.
Yeah.
So you have to look at those two things in consideration. I'm talking about not the muscular individuals. I'm talking about the real obese people who are fat,
Okay.
who are overweight. That's not healthy. Do they still get piped down? Sure. Or morbidly obese chicks get piped down? I'm sure somebody got a fetish. But is that what people are looking at instinctively? Nah. Nobody's looking for this chick who, no disrespect to anybody who looks like this, male or woman, better yet, because it's dudes who have that thing that I don't know what it's called. A fupa. On women, it's called a fupa, right? I don't know if you heard of that term. I know they use it down here. All right, boom. So men have that too. That thing that hangs over. You're not turned on by that dude. Because truth be told, when you look at him, he ain't really protecting you anyway. Because he gonna have a hard time protecting you. Because even though we still have firearms and knives, there's still an indicator that health, the better health a person has, the better equipped they are to protect and provide for you. At least protect you. Unless they're mega wealthy and then they can hire people to do it for you.
And y'all hit that like. Hit it. Thank you.